Hi everyone, Gina Madeya, Windermere Yarrow Bay here. And you already know how important it is to have an experienced real estate agent by your side when either buying or selling a home. But there are several other key players involved to help make sure your purchase and sale transaction goes smoothly. So today, I'm really pleased to have Deanna Powell from Fidelity National Title here with me to help you better understand all about what title and escrow does. So there are a few different types of title insurance policies. How does a buyer know which one is right for them?
So at Fidelity National Title, we have three different types of title policies. We have our standard policy, which is the lowest cost and coverage. Our homeowners policy, which is the best coverage for bang for your buck. It's still very low cost, but it covers so much more, and I'll get into that. And then we have our extended policy, which is more expensive, and it also requires a survey. The only time you would want an extended policy is if you have like waterfront property or rural land where the boundary lines are not super obvious. When you're going to have an extended policy, it requires a survey, so there's the extra cost for that too. Survey can cost anywhere from $200 to $1,000. So anytime you can try to just go with our defaulted policy, which is our homeowners policy. Here's why at Fidelity we default to our homeowners policy instead of the straight standard policy. So I have an example, and I'm just going to read from my example list here. Mom and pop buy a new house. After they move in, they notice the neighbor building a driveway and carport for his RV. They also notice that the driveway and carport are partially on their property. Mom and pop freak out. Mom and pop's standard owner's title coverage doesn't cover encroachments after the date of their policy. Fidelity's homeowner's policy does.
Wow. So I can imagine that might happen somewhat frequently.
It can, and I think it's important to state that our homeowners policy, which we default to, will cover anything that happened that might be a claim, source of a claim, before, all the way from the history of title to the date of purchase, but then it also covers beyond and for the life of the ownership.
Whereas the standard policy is only up to the point at which they bought the home.
Right, it covers everything in the history, but not anything that happens in the future.
Wow, great distinction.
Typically, there are two title policies issued. The lender's policy insures the lender for the loan amount, and the owner's policy insures the buyer for the purchase price of the house. So the buyer pays for the lender's policy, and the seller pays for the owner's policy. It can be confusing, but that's how it works.
Well, thank you for that. It sounds like the homeowner's title policy, in most cases, is the right one and far superior to the standard. And it's also nice to know that the buyer has to pay for the lender's policy, but they get essentially that homeowner's coverage for free as paid for by the seller.
That's correct.
Deanna, thank you so much for being here today and sharing your expertise and helping my buyers understand all that title and escrow is and does. And buyers out there, this is just one of several segments that we have, so be sure to check out the whole array of videos where Deanna shares her expertise and offers really valuable explanations. Thanks so much for being here, and thank you, Deanna.
Thanks for letting me share.